How does because you moved to LA, then you get to know what life is like there. How does the American mentality differ from the Australian mentality?
I don't know. How does it differ?
The mentality? Oh well, we've always said that the crowds. We notice the crowds are a lot more into it. They're a lot more like boisterous and they're like uninhibited and they get really into the music. Whereas in Australia, when you play shows, maybe it's because there's not that many people there that are into our genre. They're a lot more laid back. They don't really care either way. They're just like, oh, okay, that's cool. But the States were the first time we really experienced like that great feedback from the audience. So I guess that's the main difference.
What shows did you play at first in the States?
Oh, small clubs, very small. In LA, small clubs. Where no one came,
like
a couple of
15
friends.
people maybe, or all friends pretty much.
All friends pretty much. So they all knew the words.
But what does that do to your motivation? I mean, when you're playing for 15 people a couple of nights in a row.
Well, you play the same show no matter what. If it's 15, 500, 60,000, we've been lucky enough to play a couple of shows in front of many, like tens of thousands of people. And you just do the same show no matter what, because they still bought their ticket. You know, everyone paid the same price. Just because there's not as many people there doesn't mean they get any less of a show. So we pretty much rocked every place as hard as we could. And it's interesting because people in LA come out to see your show, record label people and stuff, and they'll come and they'll watch from the back with their arms folded on the BlackBerry half the time, not really. So you have to make a good impression. So the fact that there's only 15 people there really doesn't matter because you're being very judged. So it's important to keep that focus and that energy. And
has the success of Free Hugs, has that altered your way of songwriting in a way? Because I can imagine that when something appears to be successful, you think...
Yeah, no, it's the one thing that actually sort of changed, because we have 2 albums in the States. The second album, Tripolar, is going to be the album we release in April, but it has all the same on it. And when we were writing Tripolar, we noticed that when you have a visual aid, like a video, like a Free Hugs thing, it helps you consider the soundtrack to what that is. So obviously something with a fight scene is different to a Free Hug scene, so you write a different song. And when we were we would think like, what would this go with, and try and make it like, so it really helps you, because every time you hear a song, there's always some visual element, like you remember where you first heard it, or it reminds you of a person or whatever. There's a visual connection. And once we realized that was so important, it was very helpful in writing the rest of the songs. But the most important part of the process is the fans. We find out from them exactly what works and what doesn't work by the reactions from the shows, and then also just by asking them online. We got a sickpuppiesworldcrew.net is our dedicated fan site where you can get as involved as you want. We have people that are so involved they have their own backstage passes, and they just come back and they help us posters, selling CDs, everything, merchandise. We go to the merchandise desk after every show, sign pictures every show.
With saying that, do you consider your music to be cinematic in a way when you say that those two are so interconnected?
Well, it's been used on a couple of commercials now. It was used on WWE for fighting, for the fight song, which was "You're Going Down." War was used for Street Fighter, and that was when we started to really notice that it helped a lot, because we were watching Street Fighter videos to write the song for the ad campaign. So we were like, all right, what's gonna work? To try and They gave us like a 1-minute video of what the video was going to look like, and they said write something that works with that, and that's how War sort of happened. And once we realized that helps so much, it's a great aid, but I don't know if I would consider our music soundtrack. It would be nice if someone else said it. If they thought that it was that good, that would be lovely. But I think that we're trying for that, yeah.
How would you characterize a Tripolar as a record, as a whole?
Good. I don't know, how would you...
Sonically?
Just good melodic rock. Really, the best parts of all of our favourite bands we try to combine in our music. So Rage Against the Machine, Incubus, Silverchair, Green Day, good melodic, you know, melodies. And
it kind of covers a lot of stuff, like from the ballads to the hard rock. There's like kind of a wide range of songs on it, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, anywhere from War to like a song like White Balloons. They're like completely two different songs, but you know, I think it still goes together.
Yeah,
it's the same
broad.
record. Yeah,
we're lucky we have a slightly wider palette than a lot of other bands, because the Free Hugs thing established us as a sort of soft band, and then once we went out on the road for a long time, and we're a very hard rock band, three-piece, you know, Green Day, Rage Against the Machine sort of sound, sonically. And so then once you put the two together, you have a little bit more leeway. You can do very soft songs and very hard songs, whereas some other bands are a little bit more narrowed. They have to stick to one thing, or we kind of got lucky with the Free Hugs thing. We were introduced in a sort of reverse, you know, because we're a very hard rock band. Well, not very hard, but we're much harder than that song. So that introduction was kind of interesting.
Now you can do total other stuff.
Jazz.
Yeah.
Jazz.
Yeah.
Next record's going to have accordion. Or it's just, the whole thing is just accordion.
Free jazz, yeah.